So, hello, welcome back, and this is part 2, deciding to go to Job Corps and former best friends. See, I keep forgetting to look at you. Usually I have it the other way, but I don't know how to describe it, but sorry, I'm gonna try to remember here, but if I'm looking over here, it's because I think I'm looking at you. So, I wrote some stuff, and I just wanted to say, like, I try to make a linear timeline, but I realized some of the events were out of sync, and like, you saw at one point I said it happened in 2008 when it happened in 2006. In 2008 I was in Job Corps, so you know, like, it's those little mistakes that I'm talking about. I honestly am not trying to lie to you or portray myself in a better light, because like, you'll see why I say that. I've done things I'm not proud of, and I just wanted to make that clear. So here we go. I hope you enjoy this, and you will be seeing me again. And for the outro, bye-bye. Oh, I did it again. So in the end, it was just me and Amy who signed up for Job Corps. We went through the sign up, the orientation, everything together. When it came down to choosing our location, they asked us, where do you want to go? You can go to other places if the vocation you choose is something that's either filled up at your location or not provided there. Because I don't know if you know about Job Corps, well, I mean, not everybody's gonna know what Job Corps is. This is what Job Corps is. And the vocation I think I wanted like culinary. Yeah, culinary. Because I once upon a time dreamed of being a chef. I loved cooking, baking, the shows, everything about it. I can't do it though. And I used to bake with my little siblings. Baking is so much fun. It really, really is. They asked us if we chose a different vocation. I forgot what vocation Penny chose. Penny didn't want to go to the Reno location. I was fine with going to Reno. She thought it would be way cooler and better to go to LA. So, you know, she chose LA. They told us if you were gonna, and I was a little mad, but I wasn't willing to go on I think they said it was like a 6 to 9 month waiting list. They don't know how long the waiting list is, but it's not gonna be right away, and Reno is right away. I didn't want to stay home. So I was a little mad that suddenly I'm just going to Job Corps by myself anyways. But I wasn't gonna back out. It made me really mad, to be honest, because they said there was gonna be a waiting list, and suddenly she's going before me to Job Corps. I was like, I thought there was a waiting list. If there was not a waiting list, I would not have just chosen to go to Reno. So I was mad. And so she goes off to Job Corps by herself. And she immediately hates it. Immediately hates it. And I was like, well, give it a chance. She's like, yeah. And I guess she missed me and I left or something. I didn't really know what happened. It's just, you know, one day I called home and it turned out she was living in my room. So let's pull back. What happened? Penny hated it. The rules, the structures. Someone who was so spoiled would be miserable. There's so many people who just drop off of Job Corps. You have to go to sleep when they tell you. You have to, they have a curfew. You even have to be in the building at a certain time. You know, you're not allowed to have a TV in your room. You're not allowed to have a fridge in your room unless you're in the honor hall. Which means you have a leadership position, which means, you know, you've earned that spot and you're not just given it. So I learned that the Job Corps she went to was worse. So the Job Corps she went to was doing 4 girls to a bedroom. And then everybody had to share like a big shower, like kind of like a gym where there's a collection of showers and a collection of restrooms. And that's what she had. She hated it. She says it was gross, it was nasty, the people were awful. She hated the rules. She couldn't. She didn't want to go home because she had a really bad fight with her mom. I don't remember what the circumstances, but she didn't want to go home. Okay, so I just want to jump in here real quick, right? Oh man, I keep looking over there. It was her older brother moving in with her that caused problems at home, and he was a lot older, but you know, the mom felt guilty about what happened to him too, and she felt in the middle, so she never got involved in their fights. So she was mousy, like I said. I felt really bad for the mother, for Penny's mother. So she decided to call my mom and ask her to let her stay. And my mom told me that she made it seem like I was in on it, that I knew that she called my family to ask them if she could go stay with them. So she went back to Las Vegas from LA and moved into my bedroom without ever talking to me and lying to my family. Then, you know, this all came back to me because I was in a group chat with some family members, and one of them mentioned that, you know, so-and-so, they saw so-and-so on Facebook. I don't know if they friend requested because everybody chimed in, and we ended up talking about back then. They talked about how horrible she was, how dirty she was, how how horribly she talked to my mom. Then my sister told me that while she was staying there, she went into my mom's wallet, stole my mom's food stamps card, stole my mom's keys to her car, and then with my sister, the two of them drove to the grocery store that was across the street from us. It was literally across the street. And spent as much as they want. And she said she did that more than once, that she stole from my mom. And she overstayed her welcome. And I think it was my aunt who said that she had to make her leave or something. Like, they had to ask her to leave. Because she was over 18, you know, and she had no money. She wasn't going to get a job. And she just slept all day. And, like, my family barely even knew her. I didn't even know her for, like, a year. And then, you know, she had the nerve to then get mad at me because I stupidly, I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm right. I'm not saying I'm right. But I was stupid and I let my boyfriend at the time write her a letter. And he told her, pretending to be me, that I was pregnant and all this. And when I told her that it was just a joke, she got mad, cut me off. She says, I know people who've had real miscarriages. You're fucked up. Fuck you. I'm never talking to you. And she stopped talking to me, and that's it. Like, then I found out that when she decided to call my mom long distance from LA, which I don't know if I mentioned that the phone bill was under my name, Penny called my family, and I know at Job Corps, because I was there for a year and a half, they have special phones that you can call your family long distance toll free. But instead of using those phones, she used a random person's phone or called from a pay phone. I don't know. All I know is she called my mom. My mom accepted the charges, and I guess she called a couple times, and it charged. My bill came up to $500, and my mom was like, I can't pay that. I can't afford that. And she just let it go. I was like, person. I got so mad, but then, you know, I thought about it some more, and I was like, good riddance. Good riddance that this person isn't in my life anymore. Bye, bitch. Now, I'm going to skip a lot. I'm not going to talk about when I first got to Job Corps, because those are just its own stories. Now, I'm going to skip along to me being at Job Corps for a year. I'm at roll call. They called our names every evening to see if we're there. Beginning, they call out the new inputs and introduce them, because there's only about like 600 to 700 people on the campus, you know, so everybody knows everybody's business pretty much. It's like a small town almost. There's a high turnover at Job Corps. People come there thinking it's easy, and they drop off like my friend did. You know, the people who are spoiled. I even had input brothers. I think we had an input brother. We called him New York, and he just was miserable. He hated being told what to do. He hated the rules. He hated the dress code. He hated sharing a room with somebody else. He hated the food. He said everybody was mean and the place was ugly, and I think he, after 2-3 weeks, he dipped out. Yeah, so there's a central core of us who know each other's business because, you know, I was there for a year and other people who were there for a year, you know everybody who's been there for a year. That's what I mean, that there's a central core of us. But we get new people every week. So they introduced the new inputs at accountability, I think it was called. It was like a roll call, like, you know, they call everybody's name and they tick them off. Suddenly I hear Amy's name. And I'm like, because I was late that particular day. I was late and I came in one of the last people. So I didn't see her come in. And I think she made sure to get there early. Because, you know, as a big person, you get self-conscious. And everybody sat on the floor. And it was a long hallway. Everybody sat on the floor. You know, so you try to get there early so you can sit on the floor and not, like, step over people's feet and everybody looking at you. You know, that's how I was at first. That particular time, I was already there for a year and I didn't care anymore. So I went and sat down real quick, all late, like, glad that I made it because they locked the doors at like 9 o'clock, so you can't get in. Yeah, the dorms had a curfew. You had to be there by 9 o'clock. They checked it, and then you guys cleaned the dorm, and then, you know, they check you 2 more times because I think you can get 12 AWOLs before they kick you out. But I hear her name and I look, and it's Amy. Amy's at Job Corps suddenly. I'm like, what the fuck? A year later, I bet she didn't think I would still be there. Most people aren't there after a year. I was there, I got there July 31st, 2007. I left October, like, 10th of 2008. So, like, a year and a couple months, you know? A year, 4 months, something like that. I say a year and a half because it's just, like, it was more than a year. 1.5 is good enough. I just couldn't believe I saw her. I just couldn't believe it. And she tried to act like nothing happened. And I was like, I'm not going to be friends with her. I can't be friends with such a liar who even lies about what their family does. And, you know, so we weren't talking really like friends like before. She was with her input group, and I already had my little established group of friends. They weren't the greatest of people. I don't think it was a great idea to be hanging out with them. But, you know, at the same time, there was a lot less. There was a lot worse at Job Corps, so I'm not gonna fret. I said I might tell a story where I'm not the good guy, and I guess this is a story where, you know, nobody's a good guy. It's just what it is with Amy. So Amy showed up. I was still like mad at her, and, you know, even more mad that she lied for me that whole time. And I remember I was like, you know what, let me just see if this girl will lend me some money. And I was like, okay, hey, can I borrow $10? She's like, oh, I don't have $10, but I have 100 bills in my closet. It's like, oh. I'm like, why are you telling me this? And you know, she was still just as big as I remembered. I know she was having a hard time moving around because I lost 60 pounds at Job Corps. Yeah, I lost 60 pounds at Job Corps. You know, and you move around a lot, so it is hard on you when you first get there. And she's like, but I don't want to walk all the way, because I can't believe we both go to Job Corps and we're in the same dorm. There's 2 girl dorms and 3 boy dorms. I know now that it's co-ed. And I know they're probably shut down right now, actually, but for years they've been co-ed. So I'm looking at my paintings behind you, don't mind me. So she gives me the key to her bedroom, and she gives me the combination. We were even on the same motherfucking floor. I could not believe that. Because I was on B floor, the upstairs bedroom, so I'm like, ooh, they put her upstairs. I feel sorry for her. Because it was hard for me, and I wasn't half as big as her, especially by then. She told me to grab 100 and give her change back. I picked it up. I went into her stuff, and she had all kinds of nice stuff, and electronics, and this, and that, and I was just like, why would you give anybody, especially someone who you're not even really talking to anymore, and you had a falling out with, the key to your bedroom and the combination to your lock, because we had to lock our closets at Job Corps because, you know, there's so much thievery. I had told my friends about, you know, her and how fucked up she was, and how she lied to me about how her family hit her and stuff, you know, and how she flaunted her like, I guess, mini wealth at me, and they talked me into pretending I lost $100. I'm not proud of it. I felt guilty afterwards, and I was gonna give her the money back, and then she just got so mad, and she screamed at me in front of everybody in Spanish too, and like made me really mad. And I took my guilt away, and I never really thought about it again. But I think maybe she got her revenge. So most people I think would have left this part out about the money. And I didn't feel bad because, you know, how she flaunted her wealth, how she lied to me, how just, it was wrong still though. And I never want to say that it wasn't wrong. Yeah, I never want to say that it wasn't wrong, that I was justified in taking this girl's money because she has a lot of it, that I have nothing. Probably come out looking a lot better in this story if it weren't for that, but I just want to be honest about about my past, you know, just so you know that I'm not trying to exaggerate or leave out things that make me look bad. Or maybe this is strategic too, and I've left out a lot of bad things. We had our falling out. She like cussed me out in front of people, you know. After Job Corps, years and years, and we left. We didn't talk to each other again, you know. It was like a few months after she got there, I left. And didn't think about her again. Like, I was 19 when this happened. Then a few years ago, a family member starts a new job. And they're like, oh shit, V, guess who works at my job? Your old friend Amy. I was like, nah. This is the same family member who's like, do you remember so-and-so? I'm friends with her on Facebook or some shit. I don't remember what she was trying to say. I don't talk to her. Anyway, so this family member tells me about bumping into her, and I'm like, if I tell her don't be friends with her or anything, like, will that make a difference? Would she even listen to me, you know? So I just didn't say anything, and maybe in the future I'll do something about like dating with psoriasis or something, but I didn't date a lot, you know? I spent years and years single, to the point where, you know, my family started rumors. I know someone said that, you know, nobody wanted me. I know someone said that I was a lesbian because, you know, I guess I was trying to keep it secret. Why would I keep it a secret? I don't think there's anything wrong with being into girls. So it was during this time period where I was single and family members were talking about me this way, that this family member started working with Amy, and Amy decided to tell her that yes, I am a lesbian, and that the love of my life that I met at Job Corps died of a heroin overdose or some kind of drug overdose. I knew that, and a lot of people knew that I dated a girl at Job Corps. I've dated one girl in my life, and I didn't enjoy it, you know, so we broke up. This girl was my friend because I've always felt like, you know, you have to, I'm a demisexual. I gave it a try with my friend. It just wasn't for me. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say that. I just don't know, like, when you're not attracted to someone and you're not attracted to a certain sex, you're just not attracted to them. But I can appreciate the female form, and, you know, that's what made me think, well, maybe, you know, maybe. And this is back at Job Corps, so Amy wasn't around when I dated my friend back at Job Corps, so she must have heard it from other people. And, you know, I hadn't heard from my friend for a while. I knew she was having drug problems, so I'm like, the love of my life. I only dated one person, and I think they do have drug problems. What's going on? And I tried contacting her, and I tried contacting other people to hear about her. Because, you know, even though it wasn't true that she was the love of my life, you know, I knew that she had some substance abuses. So I got worried maybe she used a kernel of truth, you know, the fact that I did date her. You know, the fact that, you know, she does have drug problems to her advantage, you know, because it's very likely she knew, because everybody knew each other who'd been there for a while. So she must have known my friend and then heard about us going out, you know. So then it started, my family convinced that, you know, I don't like men. That's why I'm living with my mom. Because, I don't know. Even if I was a lesbian, it just still didn't make sense. I'm trying to hide it from them when I don't care what they think. Okay, I got a hold of her and she's fine. It was months before I heard of her again. I think she said she was in rehab or something when I was trying to contact her for a few months. But it scared me because I was like, well, maybe she heard this kernel of truth of the girl I used to date who had drug problems, overdosed. So it made me really worried about her for a while, but she's fine. And I was like, and it's like, of course she would do that kind of stuff. She always lied about everything. Okay, so I want to also just say that, you know, I guess I was overwhelmed with how many details are in this story that I totally skipped this last bit. You know, she's working, she's starting these rumors about me, right? Sorry, I looked over there again. She started these rumors about me. My family member became buddy-buddy with her. They would exchange Netflix account and passwords, you know? So they would go out to eat together, you know? And I was just like, I wouldn't be friends with somebody who, like, betrayed my family member like that, you know? But I know this particular family member doesn't care at all about how I feel and what I'm thinking, so it's just what it is, you know what I mean? But, you know, she started telling us that, you know, Amy at work, she, because, you know, and she lost a lot of weight, but she gained a lot of it back. So did I. I'm not shaming her for that because I think I gained all the way back from Job Corps, and I'm currently trying to lose it again. So, you know, for my health, for my psoriasis, and, I have heard people say that it helps their skin. I've heard other people say that it makes their skin worse. It's just a gamble I'm gonna have to take. And I forgot what it was, like, workers something, after you're working somewhere for a year. I'm not saying everywhere. I know this is for particular, like, Nevada in the US. I don't know if anybody has something equivalent. I've never even heard about this until this instance. So Amy, after working there for a year, applied for, like, some kind of workers protection. So because she's, like, sick, and from what I remember in the past, she had a lot of illnesses and stuff. So, you know, I guess that kind of stuff continued for her. So she could call in all she wants without ever getting in trouble or her job being in jeopardy. So my family member started telling me that nobody liked her, Amy, because she kept calling out. She was very manipulative, and she was starting to see some of the stuff I noticed when I was, like, friends with her. Like, she's really manipulative with her friends too. I can understand why she didn't have any. I shouldn't really say that, but some people don't have any friends because they keep cycling through them, you know? Like, you use them up and then move on to the next person, and that's my perception of her. You know, everybody at work stopped liking her, and the reason why was because if you worked with her, you never knew. There was, like, a good 50% chance that she was gonna call out without any warning, and that most people had to, like, people were called in and working days. I think even my family member had to cover Amy and her call outs, and just as a work environment, it made people not like her. And so much so that when she decided to leave the job on her own to move to California to be with her elderly father, they celebrated. You know, no more call-ins, and not so much uncertainty, because like I've worked for small periods of time. I've never been able to keep a long-term job, you know, like I get a job when my flare-up is down. As soon as I have a flare-up, you know, I can't go to work, and like a lot of places told me, if you don't come in right now, you're fired. And I'm like, I have psoriasis on most of my body. I literally can't, my hands hurt. I can't come in. And that's just like, whatever. Anyways, I just, you know, in saying that, I just like, I understand how important it is to everybody in your shift to be there. That, you know, you call in with enough foresight for people to be called in, because it's just not fair to everybody else. And I could see, like, you're under no obligation to think of your coworkers, but it makes sense that they would not like you if you're this way. And, you know, I wish her the best. I wish both of them the best. I just don't want them in my life. And good riddance. And I hope you enjoyed this story. And God, I hope I didn't seem like such a piece of shit.